You know, when you talk about personal sacrifice, that means something different to everyone. I am twice divorced, and my ex-wife, my most current, I guess, ex-wife, is also the mother of my 4 children. Crazy thing is, the divorce wasn't ugly, it wasn't messy, but our personalities no longer meshed, and that became ugly. And just our interactions with each other, and it's was and is very clear that we are no longer friends, when at one time I thought we were best friends. However, my kids mean more to me than anything in the world, and I can't imagine a day without them. So when she moved to another place in the downtown area, which was 25 minutes away from where we did live, after a little while, I found a house and I moved 3 blocks away from her. Now, while some might be like, that's creepy and you stalking, you keeping tabs on her, no, far from that. Could care less. My priority was to the kids. That way the kids got the best of both worlds. They got to spend as much time or stay with me as much as they wanted. And when they didn't want to, they could simply walk 1 block down and 2 blocks around the corner to their mother's house. And that way, the kids got the best from both of us. Because that's, to me, that's what personal sacrifice is. Hello, Governor. This is Rick Hostede, nupefromdaville. Quick recap. Season 5, Episode 6. Episode 6 of Doctor Who, Vampires of Venice. So the Doctor and Amy and Rory are on their way to Rio. It's clear that Rory and Amy are a couple now, but you know the TARDIS. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. And it goes on, of course, and it lands in Venice, Italy. Beautiful town. Just happens to be in 1580. A little bit off course. This is not quite Rio. So they are walking around Venice, and the Doctor is convincing them of the beauty and just how wonderful it is to be in Venice. They can enjoy Venice. They can still get to Rio. I mean, he's got a time machine. But they hear a scream, and they run down an alley. Actually, Amy and Rory run down an alley, and they see this dude over top of this woman. And it looks like, does he have fangs? Does she have bite marks on her neck? What? And he, for one, he's out in the daytime, because it's daytime. And he then bit this woman on his neck. He sees Rory and Amy coming towards him. He kind of does this Count Dracula kind of thing. This, and pulls his cape over him and walks off. We are introduced to this black man. He takes his daughter to this school to get his daughter enrolled in a school. It's the best school in town, and he really wants to get his daughter in a school. The lady, the queen, or the head of this school, she says, you know what? Yes, we'll take your daughter. Great. Now tell her goodbye. And he's like, wait, what? Like right now? So she takes his daughter. He has to leave. Now, by the time the Doctor and Amy and Rory show up, they see the black man beating on the door of this school, and we really don't understand what's going on. Because what we saw in the very beginning is that as soon as the gentleman left, the mother, the queen or whatever, and her son attacked this poor young lady and put the put the vampire on him. When we meet this gentleman again, he's trying to get inside the school, and they tell him, listen, your daughter won't see you. You need to break out, my dude. Like, it's a wrap. You dropped off here. She belonged to us now. Kick rocks. But then all of a sudden, all these girls dressed in all white with like camisoles, little umbrellas, little fancy umbrellas for y'all that don't know, come outside. Or maybe it's a parasol. I don't know. It's something like that. A little fancy umbrella. They come outside and he sees his daughter and he runs up to his daughter and is like, hey, me. And she's like, what? She looks at him like she don't even know him. And then all the girls kind of turn on him. They're like, rah, rah, you need to get out of here. And all of them, they got some weird, crazy vampire mouth going on. But it's not like the vampires we see in the movies. It's like they got like 19 vampire teeth. It's weird. So the doctor and Rory and Amy hatched this plan to help this man get into the school. The guy tells them it's heavily guarded. They get into the school. Amy and Rory pose as like a sort of couple, or like maybe Rory's her brother or something like that, to get Amy into the school. They get in, and the son, he's looking at Amy like, I know you from somewhere, but I don't know. And he was taken with Amy's red hair, like he was feeling her. But when he sees her again, he's like, I know you from somewhere. I was gonna bite you somewhere, but I can't remember where I was gonna chew on you somewhere. I don't remember where that was. So when they get into school, Amy ends up in this little dungeon with green light, and he gives her a bite. Somehow the doctor gets into the school, and he's just walking around like he owned the place like usual. He runs into the little boudoir of all these little girls, but he finds out real quick. He's like, wait a minute. This ain't sexy time. This is, something's wrong with them. And they start chasing him. Fangs come out. They chase them. He finds Amy, and they kind of trapped. But then the little black girl, she kind of comes to her senses and helps Amy get out. But she gets pulled back inside because somehow the sunlight don't agree with them, but they be out in the sun. I don't know. Maybe they got good suntan lotions. Maybe she didn't have her Fenty number 7 or something. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, they end up punishing the black girl for betrayal. And they toss her in this little pond on the inside. But I swear the pond kind of looks like, in the way the queen mother's talking about, like it's full of piranhas or something. They throw her in there. She's gone. It's a wrap. The father is despondent anyway. He's pissed because they didn't pull his daughter out. So the doctor gets back in there and he figures out, he's like, I know what y'all are. Y'all are aliens. And when they, she's got a, kind of like the same way it has the key and it's like a perception filter. They got this little machine on, there's a perception filter so you can't see who they really are. And these weird scorpion, crawdaddy, fish vampire aliens. It's some weird shit going on. Yeah, and he's like, y'all tripping. This is, like he be telling all the little aliens that roll up on the earth, listen, is the doctor. The earth is under my protection. But this woman's like, nah, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Our world was uninhabitable. We came here. I got 10,000 little dudes in here, and I'm gonna bite and take all the women and give them as brides to my boys. Now, in all of this, the plan, they trying to get out, the black man, he decides to sacrifice himself. His daughter's already gone. He ain't got nothing to live for. So when they give chase and they're chasing the doctor and Rory and Amy and this black gentleman, he decides, he's like, y'all save yourselves and I'm going to blow this building up. And he blows up the building. And all the recent little girls who were turned to the fish piranha vampires, he blows them all up. The doctor goes back and tells the queen, he's like, listen, you ain't got nothing for your children, your boys. It's a wrap. All the little vampire girls, they gone. So she's like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just transform this whole planet. And she turns on some device in her chair, her little throne chair. And then the doctor's got to climb up the top of a bell tower like he's, a little hunchback dude. And he turns off the weather control thing that was turning like tornadoes and hurricanes to transform the face of Earth. But he like flicks one switch. It's stupid, for real. And the queen, she gets pissed off and she sacrifices herself in a human form. And it's a really weird episode. Now, personal sacrifice means something different to everyone. And sacrifice can mean a lot of things. It could be very reminiscent to what I said in the very beginning. Sacrifice could be, there's sacrifice plays where in baseball, there's a sacrifice play. In all sorts of sports, there are sacrifices. In real life, there's sacrifices. But most of the times when we think about it on hefty terms, like usually you gave your life to sacrifice. And sometimes it could mean giving your life, but not the kind where you die. It could mean sacrificing your time, sacrificing aspects of your life for someone else's benefit. It was once upon a time I got heavily into church. It was a new experience for me, and I was in the church. And I was a part of several different ministries and led some ministries. But I was so connected that I scheduled the rest of my life around church instead of scheduling church into my existing life. And even though I broke free of that, and I haven't, I'm a licensed minister, but I haven't attended church nearly as much as I want to or as I should in the past year or so. And I'm going to rectify that. I've kind of just replaced it with something else. And over the past several years, I schedule my life around the needs of my kids. All four of my kids are into sports, and they have all these needs at school. And unfortunately, where they go to school is 45 minutes away from where I currently live. And it is a hassle, a true sacrifice, to say the least. And it's hard. It's wearing me out. And it's making definitely more of this wonderful color that is not black appear in my beard. But I'm my children's father, and it's my job to do what I need to do to get them through to the next level. Not all parents think that way. Not all families think that way. Not all people think that way with their spouse or their loved one. A lot of times you'll see people sacrifice more of their time and effort for their job simply because they're receiving money for it. And they will schedule their life around their job and then be completely baffled when the job gets rid of you, when you get downsized, laid off, outright fired, just because the job no longer sees the value in you and what you've done and what you have contributed and sacrificed for that company. When you sacrifice, make sure that who or what you're sacrificing is actually worth it. We used to have a saying that, is the juice worth the squeeze? It's hard to say. That's for you to determine. But you have to make sure that if you make the sacrifice for something or someone, it's worth it. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, all day, every day, my kids are worth it. And I will continue to sacrifice money, time, sleep, sanity for my kids. Yes, I want the conditions to improve so there's not as much of a sacrifice, but while I'm still on the struggle bus for right now, it is what it is. I don't know what that means to you in your life. And you definitely have to find your area. Who and what would you sacrifice for? And if you're already sacrificing for someone or something, would it be reciprocated? Because if your answer to that is no, then maybe you need to reevaluate some things. This is Rakai Steve, nupefromdaville. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to this. We're on the quest for 1,000 subs. We're getting close. We're really close, but we're not there yet. And while you're at it, put on this video, put on other videos in the background and listen. I tell a little story, I recap the show, and then I give you some personal stuff. And maybe that's not what you're into. Maybe you don't want to hear any of that. But if you do, I appreciate it. We will be having a giveaway once we reach 1,000 subs. Again, thank you so much, each and every one of you. It's got to be about this. But it's also got to be about this too.